Hello and welcome to the Low-Code Café. This is episode number 197 for July 29, 2026. Today we're going to be talking about autoscaling plant and app for high-end performance. So this is mostly a technical look, and we have our resident expert, Razvan Stan, who will be presenting on this topic. Low-Code, whoa, that's my ugly cursor. Low-Code Cafe is an event that we do once a month on Wednesday, 10 a.m. Central Time, typically the last Wednesday of the month, but watch for our announcements. But it's a technical webinar where we get together and talk about what's going on with Plant and App and then provide an update or a demo or some hands-on coding. All these are recorded and they're out on YouTube. YouTube.com/plantandapp is our very popular YouTube channel. We'll be running this agenda. Razvan is going to speak first about our hands-on coding section here, and then I'll do some cleanup after a while with some from the trenches of support and tell you what we were working on behind the scenes. So since let's see, our next Low-Code Cafe is scheduled for our next live one scheduled for August 26th, basically 1 month from now. Probably adjust the schedule a little bit as we get into the tail end of the year. Last Wednesday of the month doesn't work very well around November and December, but we'll make some adjustments. Be on the lookout for those. All right, Razvan, if you would like to join us, Razvan Stan, maybe you can, I don't know your actual title, so maybe you can introduce yourself and then tell what you're going to be talking about today.
Yeah, that will be great. Thank you, Dale. So currently, I'm head of customer success. I also worked as a software developer, and yeah, I liked this part of the application, so of the app, and I moved in this direction. So today we'll speak about auto-scaling. The agenda for this one will be the plant an app in an auto-scaling environment. Why we choose the auto-scaling, because there is a reason behind it and all the benefits of it, and what will trigger the auto-scaling. And of course, until we reach this point, we'll also understand what is the auto-scaling and how Pantanapp is doing it. And after that, we will speak about how we build it, like all the infrastructure things that are required and all the modules that are also required to make it work. And at the end, if Pantanapp can help you do it or is something that it is for you to do it. So, Dale?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll just mention after a bit we'll take some questions. If there's questions along the way, you're welcome to either use the question and answer or the webinar chat, and I'll forward them on to Razvan.
Yeah. So, what means planting up in an auto-scaling environment? Basically, we currently have multiple web servers that are linked to a single file, a single database, and we can distribute the requests that are coming into our application. Basically, if we have thousands of requests, those are split in multiple instances by the load balancer. Uh, Behind that, there is an auto-scaling also. That means when something is happening, when the CPU is increasing or something like that, uh, it will scale up or down based on some rules that you have there. Um, yeah, the most important part here is that you need to understand there are like machines that are like live apps that have the similar file system, the similar data, the same file system, the same database, and also the file storage, of course, and all the configurations. Basically, same app on multiple servers connected to the same database. A very important thing here is that I think most of you know that you have the configuration part in Panther app. Uh, we somehow resolve the issues with caching. Basically, if you do a change in a module or something like that, it will propagate throughout all the modules, all the nodes, sorry. Basically, if you are on an instance and you have 10 of them and you do a change there, it will propagate everywhere. Another interesting part is that we, at least in our infrastructure, we use the ASP.NET cookies for the session stickiness. So as long as you are logged in with a user, you should not jump from a node to another. So it will stay on a similar on the same node that you were logged in. Uh, yeah, the cookie is sticking based on your load balancer and auto scaling. You might have like different rules. You might set different rules. We kind of have experience with we have a lot of experience only with AVS, but with also some on-premise uh, applications. Yeah, if you can switch the next one. Yeah, here is a very good example of why you need auto scaling. Basically, in the first picture, the one on the top, you will see that the infrastructure and how the applications are managed, there is under capacity. You will see that you have like a lot of requests and you do not have servers in some days to take the load for those requests. So basically, you will not be able to respond to have a response for them. So that is an under capacity. But if you try to fix it, like ramping up more servers, more instances for it, you will go in a direction having unused capacity. So you resolve the under capacity, but you did not resolve the unused capacity. If you go to the next one, here we see the perfect configuration. Basically, for each day of the week, we see that we have the actual capacity and also the provided capacity. This is resolved with a scale on demand. Basically, if there are like a lot of requests, you can put a trigger on those requests and it will scale up or down based on that one. The very important part with this approach is that you have a very high availability. So basically, your applications are available all the time. You do not have timeouts or the response are not provided to the end user or something like that. You have consistent performance, and very nice thing is that you have maintenance without downtime. Uh, as you already saw in the previous pictures, there is a very important aspect of this one is that this approach will somehow protect your money. Basically, it will upscale based on exactly here. You can see that you have unused capacity. So basically, it will upscale or downscale the servers based on the needs. If you have a lot of clients, it will upscale. If the clients are like leaving, they have finished everything on your application, it will downscale everything. And of course, on Saturday and Sunday, those are days that you don't have a lot of clients. Um, so yeah, that's a very good aspect of this.
Thinking about the
Yeah.
type of use, I'm looking at the people who are on our webinar today and thinking, I know there's some that have a monthly reporting period.
Oh
So
yeah.
for 1 week a month, their demand is higher, but the rest of the month it's lower. So that would help having to have overcapacity. And then you hear stories about, for example, people who are running marketing campaigns, maybe think, running a commercial during the Super Bowl. But you all of a sudden have a far bigger spike than you would normally have. So it's
Yeah.
addressing all those kinds of things in real time.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. That's a very good example, Dale. Okay, so we need to understand what will trigger the auto scaling and what is the configuration of for an auto scaling. Basically, the most uh, used trigger for auto scaling is the CPU utilization. After that, we have the request volume, the response time. Basically, let's say an example from Dale at the end of the week. There are some of workflows that are taking a lot of time because I don't know, they finish some reports or something like that, and the response time is a little bit bigger. Basically, this can be also a trigger for your auto scaling. Um, yeah, what else? Depends on what you are. what you are using, you might have the possibility to use other kind of triggers. But speaking about the configuration of auto scaling, you can set a minimum size. Basically, you can have like, I don't know, four instances up all the time. You have like a desired capacity, like six of them, over, and the maximum size, I think 12, or I don't know how many you want. But of course, this will affect the price of everything. Yeah, for from our experience, currently we run with minimum two, desired two, and or three, depends, three, four, depends, and the maximum will be 10. But again, it also depends on what kind of VMs or instances you want to use, because yeah, you might take a larger one, more powerful, and if you have like a VM that is very powerful, you don't need 10 of them. But in the end, it might be like two with six or something like that. But yeah, it depends on your needs, and this can be checked in the yeah, there is a panel in AVS where it will display how many requests, the request time and everything, the response time and everything, and you can check there and decide, okay, for the next month I will want to change this auto scaling configuration to, I don't know, 4 with 12 or something like that, and see next month if that helped you, so that you can end up with a very good auto scaling configuration. But again, the auto scaling configuration, it takes time. You might need to twist up some things there to make it perfect. Um, yeah, we can also say that there are some guardrails here, like the minimum size, it will protect you, and also the maximum size, of course, it will protect you to don't go over that limit that you can sustain, and it will not cost you money that you can pay. Yeah, that will be all for this one. I don't know if there are some questions on that slide. We can stay or at the end. Maybe let's take the questions at the end. I think it will be better. Okay, let's speak about how we build it. So basically, currently most of the configurations are done in AVS for now, and what we do is that we build a template from an AMI, and we use this template to ramp up VMs with that configuration from the template. We also add the VMs in the AD group so that we have a VPN access to them. Maybe we want to take a look over the IS logs, or I don't know, the clients report something. We need to extract some things from there. After that, we start the VM and the IS with all the configuration like pre-configured. And after that, we simply wait for the health check to go green. And after the health check is green, it will be automatically provided to the auto scaling, to the load balancer, to be taken in consideration. This is a cold start. Currently, we are doing only cold starts, but there is also a hot start where the instances are already provisioned, and the instances are in idle, and it simply take them out of the idle and to provision them to the load balancer. So that's also a possibility to have it configured like that. Okay.
So you
Yeah.
mentioned that you're doing cold starts here on this is all AWS configuration. On cold starts, how long does it take a machine to come up when it's being provisioned like this?
To be honest, I saw that it depends also on AVS. It can take from 3 minutes to 6 minutes. But again, you need to understand that the health check and like the load balancer and everything that is happening there, it is also taking like 3 minutes or 4 minutes to understand that, okay, we have an issue here. We need to ramp up another instance. So basically, it'll be three plus five or plus six, depends on AVS at that time. If there are a lot of things happening in AVS, it will take a little bit longer.
So as it
But yeah,
as it starts to sense that things are ramping up, and you pointed out you don't want it to act too quickly. Um,
yes,
you want a sustained trigger. Then
yeah.
that once it crosses that threshold and you want to start up a machine, then
Yeah.
we have another 3 to 6 minutes until it comes online.
Exactly. So basically, there is a buffer of 3 or some minutes that you decide. Again, you need to take a look on the matrix and on the reports and so on to decide how much time you in how many minutes you want to react. Because in 3 minutes, it might be that okay, everything is gone. There is no need for another VM, and you'll not pay money for that VM. So basically, you need to again twist a little bit the things up, and in the end, it will work.
Great.
Yeah. Okay. Now, how we will do it, and if that Plantain app can help you. Basically, based on the needs, we will decide if we provide a Plantain app module as a like Plantain app autoscaling or something like that. In this moment, what is happening? We are going like we have discussions with our clients, and we build the autoscaling and everything together with the clients. So also the clients understand what is happening because maybe they have some configuration that are not fully compatible with autoscaling and web farms, and yeah. So currently we are doing it manually together with the clients, but if the demands is bigger and we have a request from our clients, it will be in a module, in a separate module.
So what I'm hearing is we have the capacity, the
Yeah.
capability of helping somebody specifically who's on Amazon Web Services
Yes.
to configure and um, have this capability. It could be in the future something automatic and configurable,
Yeah.
but right now we're using the Amazon features to make this happen.
Yeah. Now, speaking about it, I think I forgot to mention that you will need to be on 128 to be able to run everything smoothly. If you are under 128, there will be some issues that we are basically are not fully compatible with autoscaling in versions that are under 120, 28. But there is compatibility, but not fully.
And does the DNN version does it need to be DNN 10 or is that
Uh, there are some fixes in this direction from then. We suggest to be on 10.2.1, I think.
yes?
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to mention here in a minute minimum versions, but 128 technically is the supported version right now, so that shouldn't be too much of a limitation.
Yeah.
So great time if you have questions. I have a couple that are in the queue here, and I'll ask,
Oh,
but it'd be a great time to add your questions either to the chat or to the Q&A. Do you know anything, Razvan, about the costs related to autoscaling? Not the VM costs, but I mean, to get this capability set up. Um, and I'm not really talking. I know there's labor hours in getting it set up, but once it's there and configured, are there ongoing costs to have this ready to go?
basically have it in idle mode, and when you need it to just simply activate it and it will work out of the box, something like that.
Well, so for example, let's say that
Yeah.
we help somebody configure even the cold start version of this
Yes.
while it's sitting in cold start with the electronic load balancer and
Yes.
the auto scaling group. Are there costs associated with it just sitting there monitoring your system before it scales up?
Yeah. Basically, the auto scaling group does have a cost. So basically, it involves some costs there, but yeah, currently I can provide like
Yeah.
amount of money or something like that, but it will involve, yes. If
Typically on Amazon Web Services, those kinds of things are minimal, and
yes,
the real cost comes in when it kicks in another server. which is what
Yeah.
you wanted to happen in the first place.
Yeah, yeah. In most of the cases, I think you will pay the current VMs that are staying in the auto scaling. I'm not sure currently if based on your plans and everything on your AVS plans, if there are like a number of auto scaling groups that you can have for free. So those are things that yeah, we need to take a look into them. Basically, if you want two VMs of the same, like two instances at the same time, you will pay for those instances and for the, yeah, I think it's also for the auto scaling. Yeah, I think.
Okay. Um, can you talk at all about the shared file system? I mean, they're
Yeah,
using the same SQL Server, right? Behind the scenes, it's all
yeah.
SQL Server,
In
but how the file system gets shared?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Dale. Thank you for mentioning it. I think it was in a picture, but I didn't provide any kind of information about it. How this is working, basically, it's like you have multiple IaaS servers that are currently pointing to the same shared files like in the network. So currently we are using FXS from AVS for this shared network files. So yeah, you can use other things from Windows or from something else, depends on your hosting environment. But for now we are using this one. We have clients that are using something else. The
Okay.
the one the ones that are on premise, they are using something else.
So there was a question about licensing. Do you know whether there's what the licensing implications are of running a group like this?
No, there is no license implication. Basically, the license that we currently have, it will not, it will work out of the box. The only codes that are here are related to auto scaling group and the VMs for now. Now, again, speaking about demands, and we'll see in the future. I will not put my hand in the in fire for this one. So yeah,
Yeah. And I know, I mean, we have three uh, basically three tiers: a starter plan, an enterprise, and then a mid-grade plan. And I would be relatively certain that the starter plan would not
okay,
support this, but uh, I guess that's if you're interested, we'll um, and well, let's have that discussion. I think, I mean, I'm going to go with what you said that the certainly enterprise. Well, there could be licensing ramifications, but at the moment,
yeah.
right. Um, you talked a little bit about scaling up. What about scaling down?
Yeah, basically when the metrics are going in the like under the desired thresholds or the setup thresholds, it will scale down. The scale down in AVS is pretty easy to terminate everything. A very good aspect here that I didn't spoke about is the nodes. Basically, there will be a node that will be responsible for running the automation. So I don't know if you guys realize that, but having the automation on multiple nodes, that means it might be possible to run them like to have the same automation running on two instances at the same time. So basically, that will not happen. There will be a master node, and that node will run the automations there. When it will scale down one of the nodes, and I suppose that will not be the one that is master, it will just terminate and yeah, you will not feel any kind of difference there because it will terminate only when the metrics are under the thresholds for several minutes. And again, if we had 3 minutes to scale up, when we scale down, we might have like 10 or 15 minutes or something like that to make sure that the problem is not like reappearing or something like that.
So you mentioned that users might have affinity to a particular server. If they get affinity to a server that's being scaled down, they'll just automatically transfer to a different run
Yes,
code.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, exactly. But again, that I, that's a very good question, and we need to test it, how this one will behave. I'm not able to say that you will be logged out or not in this moment, but yeah, it's something that we need to investigate.
Okay. Another question, are there recommended tools to monitor performance triggers that we will plan an app will use for triggering autoscaling to track those, uh, something within Planet App or external? I'm assuming we're talking about perhaps the metrics that are available on AWS.
Yeah. Now we need to understand that there are two things here, like the metrics that are related to VMs. Like basically, there is nothing related to the application. They are looking only to what is happening on that VM, and after that, there are metrics related to application, like your IS application, the request, the timeouts, and everything there. So um, currently, I don't have any kind of recommendation, to be honest. We are going with what we have in AVS at the moment, and for now, it's working pretty good. I don't know if in Plantain App we want to do something like that, but doing something from inside the instance that is ramping up is not something that is okay for autoscaling. Basically, yeah, we
So
don't. Yeah,
using the tools that are in your infrastructure is going to be better than what we could provide. That's the idea, the load balancer and the monitoring of the machines.
yeah. I think the name of that one is CloudWatch for the CloudWatch. I think for the VM metrics, and inside the autoscaling there is something else, if I am not mistaken. I was not the one that really configured them like all the way out. So give me a moment. Yeah, CloudWatch and something else. Yeah. And those metrics are provided by like out of the box by AVS, some of them. For some of them, if you want to keep the information or have the information from a longer time, you will need to pay extra money for them. AVS.
Clarifying a question here. Um, while we still time for a few more questions. The okay, so I think there's a translation thing. Razvan has been saying AVS, and we in the United States say AWS. So there's
Oh.
just making sure we don't get confused. We're all talking
Oh,
about the same
sorry for
stuff.
that.
Amazon Web Services.
Yes, exactly.
The the last question that I would put to you would be, can you speak in general terms about the success that our clients are seeing? I know that we can't profile a client here without their permission, but in terms of just general terms, what do we see clients doing with this?
Well, the most recent ones, like we have multiple applications that are currently under auto-scaling, and they, like after some twist here and there in the configuration of the auto-scaling, they started to behave pretty good, like pretty good. They don't have like downtime or request taking a lot of time to have the response for it. Um, so yeah, I will not name any kind of customer here.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Good. All right. I think what we're leaving people with then is that if this is something that you think that you want to do or want to inquire further about, we're available to help. We've got the capability, especially in I mean, ours is focused on the Amazon Web Services environment uh, that we know how to configure and help you get that set up. Um, so it's not just
yeah,
a one size fits all cookie cutter, but we can certainly help you get it set up. So if this
yeah. Basically, what our clients need to understand here is that we will provide all the configuration for your instance. Basically everything. If you are on 128, everything will be there, like modules, DLLs, configuration, everything. There are two things that are outside of our hand for you if you are outside of our infrastructure. The one is the load balancer that you will need to configure, and all the requests that the load balancer is doing into your application, and all the headers that your load balancer are propagating, and of course autoscaling. Basically all the autoscaling rules, what autoscaling is using to do the health checks, and yeah, how the requests are done.
So I know, for example, that there are clients here on the webinar that have that are on Amazon Web Services, but not our
Mhm.
version of Amazon Web Services. So we could help them directly under their
Yes,
account. Yeah. So if
yes.
you have some other um, provider, then perhaps it's less of a direct reach for us. But, okay. Good. Thank you. If any, Razvan, thanks for presenting. I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about our next version of Plantain app.
Thank
So
you,
this
Dave.
will be from the trenches of support, and I'm going to start here with version 128. Version 128 was released on January 12 of this year. We have a standard support until window of 1 year for every release. That's the minimum, and so version 1.28 is where you should be right now. Um, this is, for reference, this is mentioned on our documentation site, the learn.plantanapp.com. We have some important notes, compatibility, and this is where we list all of the different versions. And so version 128 is when it was released, when it's supported through, and the recommended DNN version. I'm going to mention, and Razvan did as well, 10.2.1 on the DNN version is the recommended version. We're currently working on, we're aware of, we've got a maximum of 10.3.1, 10.3.3 came out, I believe it was this week, and we're looking at improve, upgrading our maximum to that as well to make sure that, I mean, we do the appropriate testing so to make sure that you're not going to encounter any core problems as a result of that upgrade. So we don't want to say 10.3.3 is the is acceptable at this point, but it should be soon. Okay, so that's where to look and what to do. We have a site here that we look at every time we get into Low-Code Café, where we have the hot fixes for the current version. So this is a version 1.28 system, and there have been several hot fixes that have been released since then. And I just like to just quickly show, well, if I were logged in, um, um, quickly show the process for doing updates. Um, but this is covered also on our documentation site. You should have a backup before you apply any cumulative hotfix and be ready to use it if something goes wrong. But we're working very hard to make this a very reliable process. Anyway, they're listed in order by date, and if I want to install, we've had what, one, two, three, six cumulative hot fixes since the last time that we got together, um, which would have been late May. And you can install the most recent one. You can pick which one you want to install. When you install one, you'll get all of the older ones as well. So we can just pick this most recent one from July 28. It shows all the things that are going to be upgraded. You can hover the eye icon to see exactly what's included with that particular enhancement. But you can't pick and choose. You either get the whole cumulative hotfix and all of the older ones, or not at all. It's all or none. So we click Prepare Update and confirm that we have a backup here. So it's telling you these are all the modules that end up going to be installed. This is It's letting you know that, making sure you understand it's locking people out and that you have a backup before you do this. And then you hit start and it's going to go. I'm going to just let that perk away in the background while I continue to talk just a little bit about the version 2.0 coming up. So version 2.0 is what we've been busy working on, and it covers essentially these four areas. We're improving security and compliance. The biggest centerpiece of what we're doing is the new Forms 2.0 product, and I'll give you a taste of that in just a minute. We're removing Bootstrap 3 support, and we've been doing some maintenance on some things as well. So on security and compliance, the new version 2.0 is we're doing platform hardening. We're strengthening security, protecting against vulnerabilities and modern attack vectors. So that's one area. We are working on enterprise compliance, so support for security standards and policies, the kind of penetration tests that are done by and expected by our enterprise customers. Um, and then yeah, having a nice secure architecture to move forward with. So that's the big general area that we've been doing. On Forms 2.0, this is the major the place where we're spending um, a great deal of effort. This is going to be released side by side with Action Form. So Action Form doesn't go away, but rather Forms 2.0 comes out and gives you these new capabilities. Um, at some point, far down the road, we're going to push and recommend that you get on Forms 2.0, but Action Form at some point will be designated as obsolete. I expect it to remain around for years, but you'll want to take advantage of the features that are going to be available in our Forms experience. So they're going to be advanced features. It's going to be richer controls and more control over your layout, better capabilities for building sophisticated forms. I was part of a meeting today where most of us build forms that are single purpose forms. You fill in the form and you push submit to interact with your system, whatever your business logic is. But sometimes there's multi-step forms where you want to step people through a process and let them focus on one thing at a time, like delivery address is a separate area from the shopping cart, though that kind of idea. So being able to step through a form, and so we're working very hard to build sophisticated forms, but they're easy for you to design. So that's one major area. They'll have intelligent business logic, so the same kinds of um, the dynamic behavior, the same kind of the ability to show and hide and calculate and react to events. And then probably anybody who's on this call who is using Action Form, and I mean Action Form is one of our Swiss Army knife kinds of capabilities. So presumably everybody uses Action Form. Um, Being able to migrate, and so there's a path forward from Action Form. You don't lose your Action Form, but rather uh, you'll populate a new um, Forms 2.0 form that that will migrate most of the capability. You'll still need to test your form and work through it to make sure that it's ready for your production use. But we have a nice transition path, so that's what we're working on with forms. I'll show you a little bit more about forms here as time permits. One of the key things we're doing, Bootstrap 3 is kind of an underlying foundation of the way things are laid out on visually, and we introduced Bootstrap 5 in our version 1.18. It's now version 1.26, so this has been several years. And Bootstrap 3 has been obsolete the by the library builder for years. So we have been going towards removing it and supporting Bootstrap 5, but we're going to remove it in version 2.0. So um, I mean, there's places for you to transition. We'll show you how and where you're using Bootstrap 3 so that you can convert it to Bootstrap 5, and we've dedicated webinars to it. Be happy to answer questions on support on how to get there. But in order to get to version 2.0, you're going to have to get rid of your Bootstrap 3 things. Not typically not terribly hard, but it does take some attention on your side to get that done. And then finally, we've been working on a maintenance epic where we're improving reliability, working on defects, bugs, things that you've reported. We've been working on simplifying the upgrades and making them more reliable, and then just modernizing our platform by um, writing uh, mature components and retiring obsolete components. We reduce our technical debt, makes us be able to move faster and do more and do better. Before I move on, since we do have a couple of minutes to talk about the upgrade completed successfully, so that's good. I wanted to just kind of give a quick show and tell on Forms 2.0, just so that you can kind of see the experience. So it drops in much like, get my fingers on the right keys here. We have this form module that gets dropped on. Starts out much like an action form does. You click manage, but now you get this whole new interface for designing. And so if you simply want a first name, last name kind of an input form, it's a drag and drop experience. I'm sorry, I keep hitting the my right button. So we can have first name and the ability to duplicate that. So now we have a copy of it, and we're going to call that last name. We can make first name required. There is in our validation, we can add a validation, for example, just make it be a required field and like that. And then the button is another type of field, and so we can drag that out onto the canvas and say call it a save button or whatever you want to call it. I'm going to save that much and go back and look at it. So now we see we have a first name field that spans the entire width of the page, and a last name field and a save button. And you can see an asterisk that it's required. We try and save, we get a first name is required kind of a thing. The layouting is where things start to get interesting, different um, from action form. And so, for example, we can have a layout container as a new construct that we can drag things into. I'm going to make this layout container be I'm going to make it be a manual layout with um, 4 columns. And what that means now is as I drag things into this, uh, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, and I can just put things exactly where I want them, just with clicking and dragging, and put my button in here as well. Uh, let's get it where it belongs and put it in. So gives us a great deal of control over the way that things lay out. And there is other very exciting capabilities, one of which is the repeater. So if we wanted to capture family information, we could add controls to the repeater that would be like child name. And so this repeater is going to allow us to have someplace between 1 and 9, say, well, let's do 3. That'll be more useful. Um, so let's say that we want to accept between 1 and 3 children. Let's see, this button now should probably be below. So let's take a look at what that gives us. So we have first name, last name, and then we have family and child name Joe, and we can add another child, Sally, and another child. But see, now it won't let me add any more. So you can have child records, and when you submit this, it all those values are submitted to you in a standard JSON structure that very easy to either parse or store so that you can um, collect this kind of dynamic information without having to get involved with dynamic fields. So those are just a couple of things that um, are new capability. So layouting and repeater. So far, you can see we have, what is this, 15 controls. As this product continues to mature, more and more of these field types that you're using are available now in action form. So this panel will just continue to expand. But we get this modern building experience where you can see your form as well as and click on something and manipulate the properties of it, and um, click on something else and manipulate the properties of that, or close out and get access to your tools. So a far more modern experience. That's a very high level version of that, and I'd be happy. I see we still have a few minutes, but it would be a great time if you have any questions about forms or any of the 2.0 capabilities. Um, For those of you who haven't made it to the current version of 128 yet, one of the big things that you're going to see is that when you go to the configuration page, the first page is our dashboard. Uh, it used to be a kind of information page. Now it's a dashboard page, and it shows you all the different things that are going on your system that you might need to pay attention to. And so, for example, this system is warning us that there are some obsolete Bootstrap 3 tabs that are on this 1.28 system. It's a warning, it's an alert, but it's part of the reasoning for this alert is we're trying to help you find these things before you migrate to before you're ready to migrate to version 2.0, because it's not going to allow you to upgrade to 2.0 until that happens. The this dashboard shows you exactly what the problem is and where it exists, what page it exists on. It explains what the problem is and how to solve it, and it even goes to the point of when you click the button, it's going to open the administration form for that element so that you can fix it. Showing you, for example, this one is uh, it's complaining that it has no the theme is defaulting to a Bootstrap 3 theme. We just need to choose Bootstrap 5, and when we rerun this, we can refresh the test, and this will drop down to 2 now. So makes it very easy to find and fix the things that are going on your system. So dashboard is one of the new things that you're going to see with later versions of 128. Okay, I'm going to stop talking here for just a minute and see if there's any more questions. Anything at all about any things that I've talked about. Um, yeah, other than that, we will find our way out here. I will encourage you on Fridays, there is a Low-Code Campfire. It's this exact same hour, but that happens almost every Friday. So do encourage you to come to Low-Code Campfire. That's more of a discussion, so you can um, be able to ask questions or interact with us directly. Show us what you're working on or something that you need help with. Um, we always put the links on the chat, and I'm going to do that now. And this is just a place where if you want to register for Low-Code Campfire, if you want to get to our YouTube channel, um, check out our community portal, or give us feedback on what you saw today, that is all those links are there on the chat. And with that, I'm going to say thanks for spending your not quite an hour with us. We'll put this up on our YouTube channel for replay, and we'll be back with another topic in a month or so. But do come join us for Low-Code Campfire on Friday. Thanks, everyone.